In this video, we're going to be talking about the third tool in the programmer's toolbox, output and input. By the end of this module, you should know the syntax for getting user input and storing it into your program, and also know the syntax for displaying information to the software end user. Before we see the syntax that we use in Python to accomplish input and output, let's talk a little bit about interactive software. Most software that we use today is interactive. In other words, it relies on a human being to provide some data that will be processed by the software. So for example, if you want to buy something at your favorite online retailer, you have to provide information about the item that you want to purchase, how you're going to pay for it, where they should send it, when it should be sent, and so on. Communication in a program is rarely one-sided. Interactive programs don't just require information to be provided by the user, the software also communicates information to the user. You can think of this as a two-way conversation that's occurring between the person using the software and the computer, which is displaying information. An example of a two-sided conversation with a software retailer might go something like this. The software that's created for the online retailer asks you for your payment information. Then you, the user, enter the information to communicate information about the purchase that you want to make. And then the software continues the conversation by providing you with a confirmation message or a receipt that you have successfully purchased your item. In order to make programs interactive, we need the third tool in the programmer's toolbox, input and output. Let's define the terms input and output. Input is the information that's supplied by the human user of the software. The normal mode of communication used by the software user is the keyboard. If a program retrieves a value that's entered by the user through the keyboard, we say that the program is using standard input. Standard input is just computer science lingo that means the user is going to type their information through the keyboard. Output is all of the information that's communicated from the computer back to the user. The normal mode of communication used by the software to talk to the user is to print information to the screen, and we call this standard output. If somebody says they're writing a program with standard output, it simply means they're going to print information and it's going to display on the end user screen. You probably remember using both of these items in our first lab, and today we'll learn the Python commands for reading from standard input and printing information to standard output.